Pisces, how are we today? Just doing our weekly readings. This week we are just sort of looking at a bit of general stuff. I will also be pulling some cards for platonic connections, so family or friends, those sorts of things. But please like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I do really appreciate the support, being such a small channel. But this week we are using the seventh seal, lenormand. We also have the Inner Child Oracle, and I am drawing the Platonic Connections stuff out of the Earthbound Oracle, okay? This is a companion deck to one of my Lenormand decks, but I'm not using its companion Lenormand today. I do find this to be a perfect sort of blend of the Lenormand and the Oracle, so using that one today. All right, but getting sort of straight on into it for you, Pisces. What do Pisces need to know about? What's going on for our Pisces? Pisces, what's going on for our Pisces? Okay, firstly, we've got the odd sock card for you, Pisces, that does say on the back of that one, I am a uniquely wonderful me. Okay, so this is all about you appreciating, the uniqueness of yourself, all right, and that you are doing a perfect job of being you. No one else is you, and no one else could do that the way that you are doing that. Getting a bit jumbled there, but it's come out actually with the beautiful soul card there. So I see the beauty in me every day. So really a good time for you to be looking at yourself in a very positive light, Pisces, looking at what a beautiful soul you have, looking at what a unique and charming person you are, really finding your good qualities and appreciating those, having some gratitude for the person that you are. A lot of us, we may have, things that have happened in the past that have, made us the way that we are, but really being very appreciative of those things because, without the way that we grew up, without the things that we've been through, the experiences we've lived, maybe you wouldn't be unique as you are, okay? So everybody has those unique things about their personality, about their life choices, those sorts of things. So it's actually, really looking at what sets you apart from, blending in with everybody else. What makes you special for yourself? What makes you known to your friends, your family, your loved ones? What are the qualities that they actually see in you that are uniquely yours? Okay, so very interesting, lovely energy there, Pisces, looking at your beautiful soul, your beautiful self, okay, and really appreciating the oddness, the things that set you apart and make you different from every other person out there, okay? Pisces, what's going on for our Pisces? And one more. What's going on for our Pisces? One more. Okay. Why are we seeing that? Why are we seeing that for Pisces, please? Clarify those two cards. What is that in regard to? Okay, so Pisces, firstly, we do have a bit of a continuation from those oracles for you. So we do see the lily. I know that this lighting is shocking with these particular cards here. So the lily as well as the heart coming out for you there first and foremost. So, all about that loving yourself energy, being very emotionally intimate with yourself. With the lily there, it really does talk about having that emotional intimacy, really reaching down into the depths of yourself and asking yourself, what is it that I love and appreciate about myself? And being very vulnerable with yourself about, not only the positive things within yourself, but also the negative things as well, because, a lot of the time they make us who we are. And, if we want to change those things, go right ahead and start to, make efforts to change those things. But in order to do, that work, you do need to actually be very vulnerable and open, open your heart to yourself and really examine what it is about you that makes you, behave that way, say those things. In order to be able to change them, you do need to be aware of them in the first place. So really sort of digging down into the depths of your own heart here, I feel, Pisces. This week is a very big introspection kind of week for you. The lily there, it does talk about the longevity of you as well. So the way that you're looking at yourself, maybe there's something about you that you really love because you haven't changed that particular quality within yourself, regardless of the experiences you've been through in your life. It definitely could be talking about that sort of a thing. But for a lot of you, I feel like that's talking about, that moment where you sort of are looking forward, in order to work out exactly who you are now, kind of, looking forward to, it can talk about the end of life type long term. So it's kind of that vibe of, what would you want people to say about you at your funeral, so that you can, really start to embody and embrace those qualities within yourself now. What qualities would you want people to, refer to you as having had lived this life? Pisces lived this life, and they were loving and nurturing and whatnot. If you feel as though you're not embodying those things now, that it gives you that opportunity to really, get a bit closer to that side of yourself and embrace that and open your heart to that. So we do feel, though, that with that heart there, that this is a time for you to not only be very intimate with yourself, but also to be, opening up a little bit more to the idea of love and romance and those sorts of things as well. So, obviously everyone's on different paths when it comes to, love relationships, but I am getting that vibe here that there's a couple of you that, really do need to sort of embrace the idea of love a little bit more and welcome the idea of love into your life a little bit more, whether that be through romantic connections or, just that platonic love that we will be looking at down the track here. But, really opening yourself up to love and be loved. Okay, so starting off within yourself, opening up to yourself, to love yourself, to love yourself and be loved by yourself. Okay, firstly for you there, but, and then extending that on to everyone around you in your life, loving, where you're at in life, where you're going in life. Okay. So, that in 20 years from now, you can look back and you can say, I lived the way that I wanted to, and I really embraced the person that I am and the good qualities that I wanted to embrace. Okay. We do also see here the letter, which did come out with the clouds. Okay, so that kind of does sort of let us know that there is some sort of communication on the way with that letter. That does talk about, texting, phone calls, emails, in person, online, some sort of communication. But what we're seeing here, I do feel for a lot of you, this is communication from the past. All right, we do have the Tower clarifying that energy. So for a lot of you, this is some sort of communication that has already happened, and you're kind of examining that communication. It's kind of that vibe of, going back through text messages and really kind of, with the clouds, we do overthink a little bit, but I feel like it's more just that, going back through, messages and examining, things that you may have missed when you first received the message, the underlying current of what's going on with that actual communication, kind of checking the fine print of communications that you have received. So for some of you, it definitely could be doing with, paperwork and that sort of stuff. So some sort of overthinking related to some sort of past paperwork that you're kind of, I need to go back and check the details of this. So, a lot of the time it can come through for things like, I need to double check what's written in my lease in regard to this thing. The loan contract, I need to go back and check, and I've been overthinking that I'm getting overcharged, or whatever it is for you. I need to go back and check that contract, and check the fine print, that sort of thing. But for a lot of you, this is just something, some sort of general communication that you've had with somebody, and you're sort of wanting to go back because I feel like for a lot of you, you've been overthinking what that communication actually meant, and you've sort of lost the true message that was trying to be communicated, and because you've sort of overthought so many different possibilities that what they could be trying to communicate, that you've kind of lost the basic message of what was in that. So you're kind of going back to go back through and think about it in a different way. I do see that you are trying to sort of think about this communication in a different way to what you may have been thinking about it when you first received it. So, when you first got that loan contract, you were, I want the money, and you sign on the dotted line. But now you're kind of looking at it in a different way because all of a sudden you're having to pay the repayments and whatnot. And there's this hidden fee that you weren't aware of. And so now you're having to go back and check the fine details and see what that's even for and all that sort of a thing. So I feel as though you are looking at it in a different way, though, to what you were initially. And you are trying to find the, we do also have the sun here. So I do feel for a lot of you that you are trying to sort of, instead of looking at this I feel like for a lot of you it was originally perceived as, somehow negative, somehow something that set you into overthinking about that. Like I said, for a lot of you, it's some sort of basic communication where you've overthought it so much that you've only been able to see, the negative, maybe underlying messages that this person, well, did they really mean this? Did they really mean that? When they sent me this message. But you're kind of going back now and looking at it like, no, actually, I think they actually just meant what they said, and it was just a straightforward message. There was no need to overthink that so much, because with the sun here, the sun kind of parts through the clouds and parts through any confusion that you may have felt from the initial communication, and it really does bring around more happiness. It is a very happy card, and it does sort of cut through the BS. The sun comes out and shines through the clouds, so it cuts through any confusion, any overthinking that you may have had in regard to that communication in the past. So for a lot of you, I'm not feeling as though it's like super past energy. It's relatively recent energy there, and with that tower too, I feel for some of you this is just referring to past communication. Like majority of you, I feel like this is a past communication, but for some of you this is some sort of communication with somebody older than you, or some sort of government. Like if it is a form or something like that, it's like government related kind of, something traditional related, like a traditional government type format or form for those of you where this is actual paperwork rather than, just a general communication there. So very interesting, Pisces. I just want to grab one more for that and see, the outcome for Pisces from this. We have the garden as your outcome for that. So it's definitely, re-looking at this communication is going to, you're either going to be, because this is a very social card, but I feel like it's kind of like an invitation coming through here, that the outcome is going to be like a brand new like proposition or invitation. Hang on, one more to explain the outcome for Pisces, please. Yeah, so we do see the crossroad as well. So it's definitely kind of like changing the path slightly. I don't feel as though it's a huge decision or anything like that. It just feels as though it's more like along the lines of you're kind of meeting new opportunity, meeting new. You're now able to make more decisions from going back through that and checking that. meeting someone halfway. Once again, I'm getting that more public forum kind of stuff. It's something traditional, but now it's coming out into, you can now choose to make that more publicly available. I feel like for those of you who that is super relevant, and that's why it's coming out today, I feel like you're going to know what that is actually in regard to, and that's going to make more sense to you than it's making for me, I feel. But for those of you where that's just a general conversation, it's going to lead you to new opportunities, to meet new people, meet new, like it definitely could open you up to, like, you can actually now choose to attend some sort of social event, or accept some sort of invitation or proposal to move forward with something. But it's still a choice. That road there is letting us know that there is still free will involved in that. Okay. But you're definitely looking at that communication a bit differently to how you were initially. But we'll have a look at platonic connections for you, Pisces. What's going on for Pisces with platonic connections? Okay, so firstly we have the healing card. Okay, so we did see, that healing energy kind of strong in your original, those original oracles there, where you're, looking at your beautiful soul and appreciating the oddness and uniqueness of yourself. I feel like that is because of healing, opening yourself up to love and the idea of love, opening yourself up to, healing platonic wounds as well, strengthening the love between you and, your friends and your family, that kind of thing. So healing definitely coming through there. We do also have the water coming through, so that's you right there, Pisces. It definitely could be other people around you in your platonic energy having, that strong water element, but it could also just be referring to, healing any emotional wounds between you and people in your platonic life, especially with the healing. And then, the water can symbolize, the emotional aspect of yourself, being quite intimate with yourself and healing those emotions within yourself, starting to heal, the platonic relationships that you're in as well. But then, very interestingly enough, we do also have the ceremony card. Okay, so that's actually quite similar to that garden energy there that we saw as an outcome for this communication. So that communication for a lot of you definitely could have to do with somebody in your platonic life, and it could definitely be, the outcome of you, reassessing that communication definitely could be leading to you choosing to attend some sort of ceremony that this person is holding, because, with the garden, it does definitely talk about invitations to and events, those sorts of things, going somewhere on a more social aspect. And then with the ceremony, and I did mention also the traditional aspect as well. And with the ceremony, we do see traditional aspect coming through strongly. You can kind of even tell this particular card, the ceremony card, it does talk about, like the marriage, the union of two people. So this definitely could be, you being invited to a friend's wedding, a family member's, wedding. It could be other types of ceremonies, of course, like, christenings or baptisms or whatever you want to call them, graduations, all those sorts of things. It is kind of yelling at me, graduation, for a couple of you there, some sort of event that you're getting invited to, so I do feel as though there is going to be an event coming up in your platonic connections that actually does serve to be quite an important event for you. And it will actually, it has come out with that healing those emotional wounds message as well. So, it definitely could, either be leading on from healing within a platonic connection, or attending that event could actually help heal that connection further. Okay, whatever that is, wherever in the timeline you find yourself there. But that's what we have for you today, Pisces. You are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course, but hopefully we'll see you all again soon.